Okay, so the turns have been processing pretty slowly, if you guys couldn't tell already through the previous videos. So what I've done is I've pushed the campaign to turn 300 because I wanted to make sure that we at least get this far in the series. So it's been about 35 turns since we last left off, but there hasn't been that much that's happened. There is a little bit, but at the same time, we'll cover it. We'll cover it. This, to me, is one of the biggest ones. It's not that big of a deal in the scope of things, but Montezuma and the Aztecs managed to colonize the northern and southern islands of New Zealand without John Curtin doing it, which is like, what the hell were you doing, John? What the hell were you doing? Like, he pretty much just let these islands go. I don't know why they didn't go after the natural wonder, but nonetheless, I thought that was kind of cool that Montezuma got all the way over here just for these two islands. However, he did lose his capital. So if you were thinking like, oh my god, the Aztecs, they're gonna come back, they've got the power of New Zealand behind their empire, no, that ain't gonna happen. So it looks like Teddy finally managed to walk into New Mexico, actually Mexico City. So it looks like these cities get renamed sometimes when they get taken over. Remember that it was like that weird city name beforehand? Anyways, yeah, so America finally grabbed a hold of the Aztec capital, so now he has a big chunk of the North American continent. I don't know why I can say that under his grasp. The other capital that was lost was from Saladin. Saladin, it's Saladin, right? It's not Haran. It's not Haran. It's not Haran, Drew. Okay, so it's Saladin. He lost his capital to Egypt. Good for Cleopatra. This is by far the best game I've ever seen Egypt partake in. I think they pieced out though. It seems like Arabia rebuilt his military somewhat here. But yeah, this is definitely the best Egypt I've seen in a long time. Now, in terms of Poland, and a lot of people were pretty much writing them off since the last video because, you know, they saw the huge rebellions that were taking place. They are somewhat back. They have fixed a lot of the tiles. There seems to be a little bit of pillaged tiles up this way, but it kind of looks like they're going to go after Norway. And Norway's been doing pretty good. We'll go over how Harald has been doing the last several turns, but Poland is definitely kind of back, but they've been stagnant for the last, like, you know, 40 decades, or 40 decades, 40 turns, I guess. So yeah, Norway's been doing a little bit better, like I was saying, because they've just completely embraced colonizing Russia. So they've continued to, you know, go out after the snow, which I think he gets like a faith bonus anyways in the tundra tiles or something along those lines. So he's getting a faith bonus out here, and I figured he'd be the only civ that would want to settle in the snow. He also has more and more cities that are popping up around Scythian territory. So Tamiris has pretty much given up on their own colonization. I mean, if you remember, they really got off to a quick start. They just started sending a ton of settlers out towards Siberia, and they've kind of stopped for the most part. It's basically just Norway in the corner that is the only one that's continuing to go out this way, and then China as well. China looks like they're going to continue this just very, very slowly. I don't know if they've had that settler there for a long time. That actually might be the case. But this Chinese-Japanese war is still going on, which is pretty crazy that the fact that this thing is still happening. The Japanese have been just completely demolished here. A lot of their Asian mainland territories have been just raided, completely pillaged multiple times by the Chinese military. The thing is, I don't know if China has enough to completely take over a city. It doesn't even look like he was trying to take over this city. It kind of just looks like he was trying to go after some, I don't know if they care about pillaging tiles. Well, the AI definitely does, but not sure how much yield he got out of pillaging all these tiles. Maybe that was his goal all along. So of course, we've got to look over the damn Australians, because the Australians, I feel like, are the biggest annoyance of China. I don't know if that's the case. I just kind of like think in my head like that John Curtin is like the most annoying person to China because he just continues to colonize this region. Nothing in terms of a military over here though. There really hasn't been, you know, any push for a military from either side. I haven't, you know, I haven't seen any borders start to get, or any units start to get close to this border, so maybe they're on a good relationship or good terms or something, I don't know. The Aussies have embraced more of colonizing their home continent. I don't know why they didn't do this in the first place. They were just so desirable? I don't know. They really wanted Southeast Asia really, really bad, but now they've started to, you know, colonize more of their continent. I know that they're not the best of cities. I mean, this is a pretty okay city. At least you got this wonder under your control, which actually the city is named after the wonder too. That's kind of cool. Or maybe the wonder is named after the city. We don't know. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. So obviously when this was running, I didn't have my eyes on it the entire time because, like I said, the turns are taking a lot longer. You can see in the corner that the game continues to freeze and kind of pick back up again. I think, though, Persia and India went to war. I think they did. I don't have any confirmation. This is the main reason why I think they did, because this guy has been in the yellow He might just be bugged out, though. I'm not entirely sure. Wow, this is pretty cool, this little oil rig out this way. I think they went to war because I started seeing Cyrus build up more and more of his forces along these colonies that he had in southern India. But then again, it's not like any city lost. You know, that would be an easy way to tell if the encampments or if a city lost, you know, some of its health. But that's not the case. So maybe they didn't go to war, but it seems like there's a Cold War definitely going on, at the very least. So I guess this is kind of a, you know, big bonus for Poland because Persia hasn't really done anything either. They can easily, I think, wipe out Arabia if they really wanted to, but their priorities seem to be more focused on Gandhi, which it is the late game, and he probably has nukes, so that seems appropriate. And let's not forget, Gandhi doesn't just control territory in the subcontinent of India. I'm sure nobody forgot that. I don't know why I even phrased it like that. But yeah, he's still colonizing north of the Himalayas, as well as, I mean, Persia's trying to get in on the action. There you go, buddy. So yeah, this is continuing to put pressure on Tomyris. I think Tomyris is kind of done, although she looks like she's got, holy crap, she has a big ass military. Whoa, okay. And obviously, as you can see, nothing came out of that war between Persia and Scythia. That was kind of a big deal. I was making that a really big deal, but it ended up being nothing. I think this city has had low defense for a while now. Obviously, there was damages taken from both sides of the front, but no one ended up doing anything with it. I don't know. I also really love that France is still holding strong. I don't think there was a war declared between Poland and France, but I just love that France is like this last defense of Western Europe. Like, that's really cool. As well as, like, let's not forget Iberia still looking super cool here with all of Catherine's territory. And I do want to apologize. I know that I've been kind of neglecting Vicky. I'm sorry for all the England fans out there, but they're done. I mean, what else can I say? They're basically done. They lost Lancaster. They're not colonizing North America anymore, and they never ended up colonizing Iceland. And that was, to me, the biggest problem with their strategy. I mean, just look how beautiful it is. How could you pass this opportunity up, man? I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna be real though, what does it really have, Drew? It just has copper. Remember, we see strategic resources. It doesn't have anything else but copper. Can someone buff Iceland, please? Oh my god, I had no idea this war was going on. I actually probably don't know about a lot of wars that are going on, to be completely honest. America just took over Ottawa. So that's an even bigger reason why we haven't been covering England at all. So yeah, England just literally has one city left in North America. They've got their city in Greenland, and then what, like four cities, 3 in the British Isles, and then Ireland. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, so Vicky's done. Now, I think what's going on in South America is really interesting. Actually, kind of strangely enough, South America has been easily the most uninteresting continent, I think, in the game. Even Australia, to me, has been more interesting than South America. But yeah, I mean, somehow, freaking douchebag Felipe was able to colonize all the way over here. What is this? Colombia? Venezuela? Somewhere around there. And he has his Spanish Inquisition that's taking place. So I'm not sure if what religion exactly he's trying to get rid of. Probably Pedro's religion, but he better be careful because Pedro is badass. Got a lot of scary units over here that will mess you up. Let's also cover the last continent, Africa. I think we've covered just about every other region, or almost every other region so far in the map. Yeah, so it looks like Felipe's sub-Saharan Spanish colony has been doing pretty good. I mean, look at these cities. Look at the growth in these cities, too. I mean, 15, 14, 19, 17 population. Las Palmas at 6. They might have just settled that probably sometime over the break. Or maybe they did it at the end of that last video. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, Felipe should have just stayed in Africa. I don't know why he's focused on South America so much. He's probably going to lose that stuff anyways. He might eventually lose Madrid because I think if Catherine's going to go after anybody, it's going to be the Iberian capital. We also have Trajan out here that's just randomly throwing down one population cities. These cities were probably settled a lot longer ago, but because they're in the middle of the freaking desert, they're just not growing. Like, he doesn't give at all an F right now. I'm trying not to say it, but he doesn't care because he just wants the Sahara Desert. Apparently, I'm not supposed to say the Sahara Desert. Someone said that Sahara Desert just means the desert. Anyways, so I'll try not to say that, but yeah, Rome doesn't care. He's still colonizing the desert out here. Good for him. Egypt slapped down a new city on Madagascar. I'm actually pretty surprised. I didn't think she was going to do that. I remember specifically looking at this island and seeing like, oh, I don't think she's going to do that. That'd be a stupid move for the AI just to slap down a one population city. They did it, and they might even do it again with this new Egyptian settler. Yeah, I bet you she would. Can she? Yeah, she could settle right there if she wants to. I find it really interesting that Poland is bringing their units down. I have no idea what is going on with that. And I want to admit that I was totally wrong. I was so confident that Felipe was going to colonize Cape of Good Hope. Didn't happen. Did not happen. So yeah, clearly Movemba's probably going to lock off southern Africa from the rest of the world, and he's doing good. He's just been really quiet in this game. Oh, this is what Poland wants. So Poland's trying to colonize Africa. Maybe they've given up on their war plans in Europe. Maybe they've ran out of steam or something. I don't know, but they're trying to colonize Africa. I think Spain also sending over another settler to South America. I don't know where they're going to settle, but they'll probably figure out something. I do want to mention I haven't discussed Russia either, because I also think Peter is done. I think his only chance was to hope that Persia took, Scythia down a notch. Clearly that did not happen, so I think Russia's done. They still have colonization opportunities, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They've got a settler here, but Tamiris, I think at some point might even be able to wipe out Peter completely from the game. This is kind of interesting. It looks like at some point somebody got on the Italian peninsula, and they messed up Trajan's land a little bit. I mean, he still hasn't fixed it. Maybe Poland eventually did get down this way. Or maybe I don't know if that shit has been pillaged for a long time. That definitely could be the case. I think the most interesting possible war that we might not ever see is going to be between Gandhi and Cyrus, which is really unfortunate, because I think that those are the two big things. I mean, if Persia were to win a war over Gandhi, that would basically mean, I would say personally, Persia won. I think that there's nothing Poland can do. Gandhi would be a huge force. I mean, don't forget that Gandhi is pretty powerful. I mean, he held off. He hasn't done much, but he did hold off Scythia. He almost took Scythia's capital at one point, or got close to it at least. That is an interesting war that, like I said, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see, because we probably won't get that far. But it definitely does seem like Persia's thinking about it. With all these helicopters, he is building helicopters like there's no tomorrow. Does he have he has his immortals. Those upgrade paths aren't helicopters, right? That would explain why he has more helicopters than a lot of others. But maybe just helicopters are strangely a thing in late game Civ 6. Actually, I've been noticing that most of the AI is pretty much on level playing fields. Most of them have tanks or mechanized infantry. They all kind of have latched on to like one late game unit, which is kind of interesting. And Germany is continuing to go strong. I mean, they colonized. They have two colonies up north in Scandinavia, so good for them. I mean, Frederick's he's still trying. I'm really interested to see how the Civ 6 devs somehow improve islands. I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with Civ 6. Whereas in Civ 5, well, maybe it was too much. Maybe people were colonizing little islands too much in Civ 5. But now in Civ 6, they never do it. And it makes sense, but how can they make islands better? Because no one is still gone after the Caribbean. Probably no one's going to go after Hawaii. I don't know. I mean, you can include more civs that have like the Japanese bonus, where they get like special bonuses for adjacency, adjacent districts and things like that. So, their cities tend to be packed in tighter, so they can colonize islands more. But still, it's tough. I mean, for the entire game, basically Australia could have colonized New Zealand, but he chose not to. I don't really know why the Aztecs decided to do it. They're the only one that's like exploring the Pacific, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I don't know. They're gonna need to figure out something to do with islands. So that war must have just popped up, and maybe I wasn't realizing it, but yeah, Vicky has a chance of maybe taking back Lancaster, and good for her. Honestly, like if she could take it back, that's what England desperately needs, because she's gonna lose almost every colony back in North America. I mean, at the moment, Teddy's only sent over one tank division to go after the final English city, Canada city, I don't know, but yeah, I think she'll probably eventually lose this, and at the very least, give her back Lancaster, Teddy. Come on, man. China's still sending in units after Japanese cities, but it's not gonna be successful. Oh yeah, this war is still going on, man. This has got to be one of the longest wars. I don't think they pieced out and then went back to war, but I think they've been at war for like 50 turns or something like that. That's pretty crazy, because that usually does not happen. Well, I guess we could say Scythia is kind of still going. I mean, she did settle these cities relatively recently, 4 population, 3 population, 5, but there's definitely still an opportunity here for Harald to just jump out here. There's also uranium, so maybe that would be good. And by the way, I still haven't seen a single nuke drop just yet. That might end up happening. It does seem like Poland desperately wants to go to war with Norway, or either Germany. Germany would be a smart choice, although Poland doesn't have any navy, so I don't think that's an amazing idea. Poland versus Norway would be a lot harder, I think, for him to be successful at. You know what? I don't think he's going after Norway, because if he was, he'd probably stack St. Petersburg more than... That's not St. Petersburg. What is that? San Kitts? Petersburg? I have never heard of that. What is this? What is this alien city name? Vicky's gonna have some trouble, definitely, but Lancaster is completely undefended, so I mean, she really, even though she's really far behind in technology, like, she can still take it over. Oh, it does have 107 city defense. Damn, that's a lot this late in the game. You know, I've been looking around, and I don't think there are many conflicts going on right now in the world. I think the world's, for the most part, stabilized here. The only one that's happening is between England and America. Well, also between China and Japan. And I'm probably forgetting maybe one or two somewhere around there, but not much is going on, which is kind of interesting. I feel like now it's much more likely that Australia goes to war with the Aztecs than China and Australia have a battle for Indochina. So I think that that's possible, definitely. I'm also starting to notice that the AI, for the most part, isn't really building ships. Have you guys noticed that? Like, they are. There are a handful of ships, kind of, I don't know, sailing around, but not to the extent that they were in Civ 5. In Civ 5, there'd be AIs that have, like, massive naval fleets. Not so much in Civ 6, which is kind of strange. At this point, obviously, due to the performance of the game, we might need to change up the format of our videos. What I might do, if I can, is I'm just gonna have to keep pressing forward, maybe even further next time, and then go over all the things that happened, because we're not making any progress within the video itself. So I think that that's what we might do. I might try to do that like every... I don't know if I can even push it to 100 more turns to turn 400. I'll try it, and then make another video talking about all the things that have taken place, but at this point, there's no more just kind of watching things happen, because everything is so slow. But we'll figure something out. If not, there's future AI-only battles that are coming for sure. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.